broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Muppets fans! Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV's The Muppets After Show. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. We're ready to meet the panel. I don't know, I wasn't sure exactly where I was going with that. But as I said, I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all those places. That's Zach Wilson. Tweet me throughout the show. Autumn Chiklis is here.
Hello, everybody. I am here. My name is Autumn Chiklis, and you can find me all over the internet, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff at Autumn Chiklis.
Steve Kaufmann.
And I have to stop that now. All right, I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. I'm going to go back to doing this.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. We are keeping track of the hashtag ABTV Muppets, and as soon as I can get my iPad to behave, we're also going to be keeping track of the live chat. So if you've got something fun to say, throw it in there and we will take a look at it.
Well, guys, the whole panel's back.
I know, we're here.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Someone's going to gift that.
Come by that naturally.
Autumn's the only one not who's got too much self-respect not to do that.
Who said anything about self-respect?
All right. Well, we're back with Silk Off.
Silk Off.
Okay.
Has anyone ever taken an aerial silk class here? I have a friend who did it, and she was like unable to lift her arms for like a solid week after it. Apparently, it's great for you.
I can't imagine like the strength it takes to do that because I've watched it. I'm just like, how?
I would love to try it and fail at it and try it again and get slightly better. I would
either wind up like Peggy, just like flailing down, tumbling over and over, or I just wouldn't be able to get up. I'd just be like
I'm pretty
struggling and
pretty sure I wouldn't be able to make it up there. Like I would just get stuck.
Honestly, I'd take the pole dancing class over the silk class because if I fall off of a pole, there's going to be far less gravity between me and the ground.
That's true, but there's something
real.
There's something that seems so classy about aerial silk classes. You know what I mean? There's something innately kind of like Cirque du Soleil-y.
Yes, but gravity.
Yeah.
Lessening my chance of dying.
Also, I think we as a society have grown to taking a pole dancing class is now classy.
Oh yeah, I'm not. It's not that I'm dissing pole dancing. It's that if I could do anything with my life, it would be a Cirque du Soleil performer.
Fair enough.
I have none of the ability at all.
You just want to do it.
Neither do
It's just I. That's what when I close my eyes and dream. That's what comes up is me in aerial silk. So anyway,
I don't have enough ability to be a Cirque du Soleil audience performer, like the person they pick out. So let's dive into this episode. Two plot lines.
Yeah, we got an indie story here.
Peggy needs a friend. I guess Peggy was sort of the B story in this one. I don't know. That was the thing. I don't know if one was A and one was B. They sort of shared equal screen time.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And focus.
They were pretty evenly split.
Yeah.
She's kind of been the B story of her show, and that's the concern that she expresses that now that everyone else is on more, I'm on less.
Yeah, I mean, even though it was
that occurs.
Even though it was the title was from her storyline, like we spent. We didn't count it.
Yeah.
But I feel like we spent more time with Kermit and Pache.
I feel like this has to be the A storyline though, because she's been the B storyline so much, and then just by default, if like the tie is going to go to the runner.
I
guess.
I mean, the thing is, you don't have to have an A and B.
No, not technically. Regardless, they got pretty much equal screen time, and it was interesting. They were both kind of fighting for friends in a way.
Yeah.
One was
common theme.
Yeah, I mean, one was quite literally fighting for friends, and then the other other story kind of surrounded bribery and who your real friends are.
Yeah. What did you guys think overall of this episode? I'm curious.
I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was as good as last week's episode, but I don't think they can all be as good as last week's episode. I did enjoy it for what it was worth. And they weren't kidding about suits. No, seriously. A man walks by in a well-fitting suit and it's like, hello!
That is true.
Yes!
It is quite dashing. I thought you of all people, and I understand what you're talking about, but it was hilarious. I thought that you would have loved it because it was so Uncle Deadly heavy.
I freaking love Uncle Deadly.
I know you do.
Oh my god.
Are you following Uncle Deadly on Twitter?
I'm not.
Is he on
should
Twitter?
be.
Oh yeah, I think it's Uncle by Deadly.
Uncle by Deadly, of course
Uncle
it
by
is.
Deadly.
Yes.
I'm following Peggy, and she is the mistress of unintentional negging, and so it's just...
Steve, I think we need to both get suits. We're both sitting here in t-shirts.
I don't know, but your t-shirt is so fantastic. Kermit the Frog is forest green.
I love it, and it's little Kermit sitting on a bench in his red sneakers.
Also, join me tomorrow night on AfterBuzz TV, where I'll be doing suits, and I'll be wearing a suit.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, tomorrow night doesn't help me.
Sorry, I'll text you a picture.
All right. Anyway, back on track.
Oh no, that is on track.
Anyway, I don't know. I really like the suit plot line. I think there was a lot of good jokes out of it, but I don't like this character of Pache, and I don't mean like as a viewer, like I'm like, yeah, fight the man, like that. Like we're against that character. I don't like this character
He
As
seems
a plot device.
as a plot device. I don't like him being in the show. It was the same way I felt, and I wasn't here, but I think we talked about it briefly last week, that like, I didn't have a problem with the first half of the season. The first half of the season was great. And so when you're bringing in a character who's basically your facsimile for the changes that you're making,
Right.
and you're like, oh, we're fighting with this guy, it's like, yeah, but he's the one ruining the show. And I'm starting to feel it on the actual show.
only because he's the most like one-dimensional. Hey, I'm coming in here with exposition and problems.
Yeah, here's the
Yeah.
difference. Let's compare this to 30 Rock. 30 Rock did a lot of product placement jokes.
Yes.
They dealt with it a lot because it was burgeoning at that time. It was just coming into the scene.
Yeah.
They did it brilliantly. It never felt super... While it was the same basic gag of like, we don't want to do product placement, while we're mentioning all the product placement that we have to do. Snapple guy in the elevator. Does anybody tell me how to get to HR from the Snapple bottle? Great. But when it was delivered by Pache, it was just like, yeah, this guy's here to deliver the product placement. It wasn't like...
And I'm
It's like
thinking
a weird Deus Ex
Pinkberry
Machina.
sponsored this episode.
It wasn't like when Jack Donaghy did it, and we like this guy, so we're like kind of okay with him doing this.
Well, and it came from. It felt more organic. Where it
Yeah.
was like, Lemon, you have to do this. Also, you need a baby, and here's where we're moving forward with this episode.
Even when they were
Also
like
Pinkberry.
clearly forcing it and like literally winking at the camera,
Yeah.
it never felt inorganic to the show.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I mean, I have kind of mixed feelings about the concept because when it comes to like the Deus Ex Machina kind of like omnipotent person who just mysteriously comes in and explains everything, I do appreciate every once in a while a bit like in the way in 30 Rock did it, self-referencing, even though that was less of a Deus Ex Machina, but you get the point.
Breaking the fourth wall.
You know, but
Yeah.
when it comes to breaking the fourth wall and kind of be letting your audience know that you are self-aware and that we're just going to go for the ride anyway, there is an element of kind of really, it can be very clever and I really enjoy it, but I understand where you're coming from in this particular circumstance because it almost feels like it's a little too meta.
You know what
know what
it
I
is?
mean?
It's because they did. Here's the difference. Like 30 Rock, when they were doing it, they let the audience be in on the joke. Where like literally, like Liz Lemon turns to the camera and goes like, "Can we have our money now?" And like she plays with the audience about the fact.
Yeah.
But this was just giving it to us, and then just it was a plot point. It was just not enough. They were acknowledging it while also it wasn't like they just went to a Pinkberry and talked about Pinkberry for a second.
Which is funny because it's the Muppets. Like, we're completely on board for some fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
You're the Muppets. You can do whatever you want. You can totally get away with that. And I want this character, Pache, to literally just be so two-dimensional that he's funny for how two-dimensional he is.
I think they're trying to get that far, but this is only the second time we've had Pache, and he hasn't had the first half of the season for us to get used to him, like we've had that long to get used to Chip the IT guy, who was horrifying the first time we saw him, and has
but in a great way.
But he's also gotten funny, and we haven't had that chance with Pizza yet. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to give it a little bit of time, because we haven't had it yet. He's had a cumulative 15 minutes of screen time over 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm definitely with you, and I think the thing that it's missing is the wink wink, because the meta element is there, but it doesn't have the playfulness yet of, hey guys, we're product placing by saying we're not wanting to product place. How clever are we? Isn't that silly? Anyway, back to the plot. It just kind of forced its way, in there.
We can't wait, but don't make fun of the product. It's like, okay, so yeah, they told you not to make fun of the product.
Exactly. That being said, I'm with you in the sense that I think that there's potential there. Like, give it some time. I'm willing to give it some time and see if Pache develops as an antagonist. Right now, I'm not entirely convinced, but I'm not completely turned off yet. I am so incredibly neutral. It's not, everyone wants to see someone be really, really apathetic towards something. It's not apathy.
Neutral as heck.
I'm just
not apathy.
I'm negative on him. He's like, they smashed. I can see the pitch now. He's Jack Donaghy meets Aziz Ansari, except that there's nothing redeeming about the character they made. And if you don't, like, even a villain needs to be redeeming in one feature. Like, maybe they'll go there. So far, not. So far, they haven't done.
Or they just need to make him so two-dimensional. He's not redeeming. He's silly.
He's like a
I'm
silly
waiting
villain.
for it to hit that direction. Honestly,
he's not.
I don't see them redeeming him at all.
Yeah, but he's not wacky enough. He's just kind of a dick.
Yeah.
I would like to see them go wackier. I think that there's a lot of potential with the idea of an antagonist who comes in and like does all of these things to totally mess with the show, but he's only been in 2 episodes so far. Granted, there haven't been many, but if he's gonna be a consistent antagonist, I feel like they should use him as a consistent antagonist and not just like a device that comes in every once in a while when it feels like, oh, we need a plot point. Oh, we need a plot point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So we talked a lot about Pache.
Yeah.
Complained a lot. I did like a lot of stuff in this episode. We did get some confirmation about Carmen and Denise.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
As thank you, Boo, for reminding us. Like, yeah, they're broken up. Like and Kermit's not. He's like a little sad. He's calling her up. So sad.
No, of course he is. I mean, he's lost 2 pigs in his life, and of course. I've always been Team Peggy. I know, Katie, and I disagree with it. It must be a hard day for you, but
I'll live.
I know, I'm sure. But that being said, it was kind of it was sad to see him so distraught.
Yeah. And again, I was more against the device of, here's a new relationship, let's torpedo it in favor of the old one. Like, well, why did you even bother except to create drama? Which is more why I was Team Denise than, oh, they're my OTP 5 ever.
Yeah, I was Team Denise as well, only because people move on.
Yeah.
And like, shows need new characters. But I think part of this is them responding to the backlash on Denise.
Which is sad, because I feel like they could have run with it and it would have been okay. Or at least if they were going to go this direction, have it last for at least a season.
Yeah, I understand
boy,
that.
this was short-lived.
Because it was basically, again, just like they changed showrunners and then they just... I think that's why I was saying Pache frustrates me, is because it's so clearly like the network and this new showrunner coming in and saying like, well, you didn't like what we gave you, except that we did, and then they veered it off in a different direction, which is like it had to be significantly better than what we were getting if it was going to be so different.
Right. I definitely... They make a very strong point to kind of self-reference the idea of staying relevant, which I totally understand, but there are certain things that I really did like about this episode, which Uncle Deadly I love.
Oh
like
my
Katie,
God,
so we
yes.
should probably move on to
Let's talk about Uncle Deadly.
Can we get the Uncle Deadly spin-off show or web series like now?
Can I see him in Clueless, the gender swapped?
I want to see the extended version of that.
Guys, I invited you to his
scene.
version of Knocked Up. It was really good.
The gender swapped knocked up.
It was him
We
and
just had an MPreg drop. Okay.
it was him and Katherine Heigl. But Katherine Heigl played the Seth Rogen parts. And then he played the Katherine Heigl parts.
Oh my god, they actually bring
It was amazing.
Wow.
I sent you all the Facebook invite. Damn it.
I didn't see it. I have to go back and look.
I generally
I was at Gallifrey
ignore
this weekend.
I generally ignore what Steve sends me. So
But poor Peggy, I mean, poor Peggy and not poor Peggy, because on the one hand, she kind of digs her own grave by being such a narcissist.
I don't think she gets it.
No, of course she
Honestly,
doesn't.
She's Peggy.
I hesitate to say this, but it's a 1%er kind of thing where it's like, well, I'm up here. Oh, look, hello, all you little peons down there, and just doesn't understand that.
how many goals do you have? Bad.
Of course.
Obviously, you've never flown first class, but that's okay. I'm paying. Like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of the joke of Piggy, is the fact that she's such a, diva.
Yeah.
She is, I mean, now we talk about, like, egomaniac, but her whole spiel is that she's a diva.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously hilarious to watch her kind of interact with the real world. And I knew pretty early on in the episode that the whole turnaround was going to be, of course you have a friend, Uncle Deadly. He's with you constantly. So, like, that was pretty predictable. That being said, it was still pretty sweet. I mean, like I said, I love Uncle Deadly. And the two of them do make an adorable pair in the sense that he's, like... I mean, when they bring in RuPaul at the end, but I guess we'll get to that. I just love that, as much as I saw it coming, I liked the little bit of sentimentality surrounding their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the two cameos in we got RuPaul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they did a drag race sketch to help tie up the Kermit versus Pache story.
Swedish Chef with those sunglasses was glorious. I wish we had more Swedish Chef on the show because he's just kind of in and out.
Jesus. What on earth?
I do agree we need
inspired
more.
by Kanye's drop crotch leather
pants,
sweat.
yeah.
Oh my god, that man.
Is he deciding fashion right now?
I think Kanye is a Muppet.
I'm on board.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong.
I could see it.
I could totally see it. Oh, no.
Hashtag Kanye is a Muppet.
Twist.
We've started it.
It comes CNN breaks it tomorrow.
Oh shoot.
He's actually just made of felt.
Yeah, RuPaul. Well, I mean, RuPaul obviously had the whole fashion thing when Pache takes the writers in to get new suits and tries to bribe them with the cashmere tunnel.
I will say I don't want your money, and then he takes the check. Like
That was great.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was
really
cute. That was cute. Old gag.
Of course, it's an old gag, but it's
It's the
oldie but goodie.
Muppets.
Gag's a gag.
Yeah. I'm just
Old
saying.
gag. These guys.
I'm just saying. But then we got we also had Ingrid
Michelson.
Michelson.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was looking it up. My phone came up with Bergman. I'm like, that's not the right one.
Not the right
No,
Ingrid.
Ingrid Michelson, who is awesome, and I love her.
Great.
Yes.
I mean, like, I don't know if it was truly a live performance or if they just used it recording, but even whatever it was, I love that song. She's a phenomenal singer.
Yeah.
She is.
These were all great guests to
They
have.
didn't give him much to do.
Exactly.
No.
They just. I don't want to rag on the show too much, but it's because I loved the first half of the season so much,
Right.
and I felt like they used the guests so much better to start with.
Yeah.
Like Lena Dunham and Kermit's crush on her. That's a great way to use a guest star.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
because it involved. She wasn't even on screen for that much time, but her coming became an event that was part of the show,
Or the Dave
and it was
Grohl Animal.
organic. Dave Grohl versus Animal. Whoever thought of that? It's a freaking genius.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
that was
more people.
great.
I'm sure more people have seen that video on Facebook than have seen the show, and that's not a knock on the show. I'm sure plenty of people see the show.
And the idea of RuPaul coming in to do fashion was great, but I didn't need it to be as a sketch on the show.
Well, there could have actually been some kind of plot point with it instead of like insert random star here
Yeah.
and some random star here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been treating these first few episodes like it's the start of a new show because essentially it is. And so it took a few episodes for the first half of the show to find its footing. I'm willing to step back a bit and give it a few episodes for this half of the show to find its footing as well.
Well, they've
feel
only
that.
got 3 more episodes to get it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 16. They were only supposed to do 13 episodes this year. They got 16 instead after the whole
Revamp.
shift. So, we've only got 3 more episodes to go. We're sort of winding down on time. Is there anything else that you guys have thought about this episode? Any favorite moments? Let's end on a positive note.
Yes.
Favorite jokes.
Favorite
Deadly in Clueless. Just, oh my God.
Deadly and Clueless was excellent with his. So I was like, totally.
Gloria
yes.
Estefan is still there.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you? Favorite part of the episode?
That got me too.
I gotta say, it was a smaller moment, but I really loved at the end with Rizzo and Gonzo and Pepe when they're like, we learned not to judge our friends by like what they give us. It's especially now that Kermit gave us these suits.
That was cute. That was a cute little moment.
Yeah. It's great, again, like learning, that's Muppets. They're learning a lesson, but not, and being ridiculous at the same time.
Well, and I think that the reboot has more heart and less edge. Like, they're still kind of keeping along the same route, but they've softened it a little bit.
Go back to the edge. I like Muppets at the edge. That's where I like it. That's my final thoughts.
I'm good with this.
Anybody else final thoughts?
I'm good with this. I enjoyed it.
All right. We'll be back next week with more Muppets here at AfterBuzz TV. Until then, Katie Cullen.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I'm also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. Arrow's tomorrow. Star Wars Rebels is tomorrow. And we have the season finale recap of Ruby, in which we kind of cry into the microphones for an hour. Thursday at 6 p.m. with Miles and Carrie.
And I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me right here, right now, but also on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. That's only for you, Zach. I'm going to be doing Suits tomorrow night, also Modern Family, and a bunch of other stuff that I tweet about regularly.
And I am Autumn Chiklis. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Autumn Chiklis. That's spelled C-H-I-K, not C-K, C-H-I-K-L-I-S. And I'm on a lot of different AfterBuzz shows. I do some popcorn talk, and I'm going to be doing Inside the Documentary soon. So
awesome.
That is where you can find me.
Cool. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and now on YouTube at That Zach Wilson. I just started doing some stuff talking about TV. I'm writing a new one that's focused on some comedy stuff, so you comedy fans will be tuning in for that. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. This is my stretch goal. So youtube.com/user, I guess, /That Zach Wilson. You'll find it. And then a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. Guys, I'm Zach Wilson. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.